It is all about the lighting. You got to make sure you got good lighting, and you got to figure. Oh yeah, I'm recording. So, is this? Dang, can I get it? Where is it? The sunlight's hitting me. Oh, there it is. There it is. You can see me in all my glory. So, this upload is about. I have to have a piece of gum in my mouth. I'm going to refrain. Is that how you say the word? Refrain from chewing it throughout this whole review. So this upload is about Breaking Bad, season 4, episode 6. It's titled "Cornered." So it starts off, it starts off where the last episode left off. Walt's waking up in the morning from a hangover from drinking too much wine. Now look, this is a cultural thing. I'm gonna leave it at that. Wait, I'm not gonna leave it at that. I don't know why I said that. I'm gonna say this is a cultural thing. Wine doesn't get men drunk, but I know everybody has different tolerances as far as what they consume and what can get them tipsy and drunk and things of that nature. But wine just doesn't do it. Why am I saying that? I could probably get drunk off one beer. I guess if you don't consume alcohol that much, it'll get you pretty tipsy. Well, I take everything I said just back. I take everything I just said back. I take it all back. But no, it just seemed odd that he would get tipsy off a couple glasses of wine. I don't know. Maybe it's some strong wine. I don't know. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is, he starts. Walt, Mr. White, the character, starts blabbing his mouth in the last episode, basically tooting his own horn. Well, he's not. The guy's really not a genius. I'm, somebody out there who's really the genius. He's just copying this, that, and nerd. Oh boy, don't do that, Walt. Don't do that. Don't do that. So this episode starts with something that I'm very familiar with. Two adults arguing. So they're arguing. About what happened last night, and then Walt goes back into his Heisenberg and puffs his chest out, and because she has his wife has a legitimate concern for him, and she's constantly trying to find a way out of this situation because he is in over his head. The money is great. I know the money's great, but he is in over his head. And she's telling him that. But, he puffs his chest out, puts his little Heisenberg act on, and kind of like shakes her a little bit. But as I've seen in previous episodes, that little persona he puts on doesn't work to somebody who, lack of a better term, is about the life. Like, you walked up to him, he has a gun in his waist. I'm Heisenberg, I'm tough, I'm this, I'm that. Gets punched in the face and kicked in the ribs. So, yeah. It doesn't mean anything to the right person. So, they're doing their argument. And then Pinkman comes into the story. Pinkman and I thought I said I was going to remember that guy's name. Well, figure out that guy's name. I didn't remember his name. He's basically an employee of Gustavo, like his trusted enforcer, I guess. Trusted head enforcer. So he has him. What is it? I'm just seeing if there's somebody over here that's gonna let me in the gate. So I'm waiting at one of my stops on my lunch. But anyway, so the guy, where was I at now? I done forgot. God, I done forgot. What was I at? Yeah, so I done forgot where I was at. What was I talking about? The head enforcer, Gustavo. Yeah, so Pinkman comes back into the picture in this episode. Now there's a bond that's really starting to grow between Pinkman and this enforcer, but Mr. White's finally wrapped his head around why the situation was created in the first place. Pinkman has his own theory on it. Now they're going back and forth. So the episode starts off with two arguments involving the main character and two of the other characters, which is like, come on, man. Like, but everybody, it seems like for some reason I feel like everybody's making a valid point with their arguments. Maybe they're a little. Maybe Pinkman's the only one that's probably a little bit more confused than the other ones. Excuse me. So after you get that out the way, you go on to now Mr. White's finally got a chance to take ownership of the car wash, and that's where I got that name from. I was saying it all morning. Bogdan. That's the guy. I think that's the guy's name that owns the previous owner of the car wash. I've been saying that name all morning for some reason. So they finally get a chance to talk in person, and he's throwing jab after jab. He's throwing a jab, and he's trying to get that power, that hook, that power punch, or even that uppercut. He's trying to land something real heavy on Mr. White, and he finally gets him at the end. But Mr. White comes back with something he thinks is, I guess, a good counter punch. He takes the guy's first dollar he ever made in that business and goes and buys a soda with it, which I'm like, that is hilarious. It's hilarious, but it's like, it doesn't really, I don't think it would do as much damage as you think it does. It's just funny. I think it's just funny. So once you get done with that, and you go back to Pinkman and the head enforcer, now Mr. White has put these seeds in Pinkman's head, like, well, maybe you're not really what you think you are. They're making you think like you're something that you're not. So Pinkman decides to take it on himself to be that, and he almost gets his head blown off by a drug addict with a shotgun. But the enforcer comes in through the back door, and he's able to take advantage of that situation, and get out of there without losing this part of his head. Like, all this up without losing all. Well, maybe the main entry would have been right here, so it would have been most of this gone. Because a shotgun blast is not pretty. Not that I know. I'm just saying it's not pretty. Now, what else happens in this episode? Oh, he buys his son a brand new Challenger. Well, brand new at the airing of that episode. Oh God, you don't do stuff like that. It's so flashy. So, of course, his wife finally gets back, and she's like, "Oh, I forgot. Before I get into that, there is a little bit of there's a little bit of a sub story going on with Gustavo, the head drug dealer. Like, he's having like a little war with another I guess cartel. I guess they're cartels. I don't know. With another organization, I should say. So that's happening in the background. There's been a couple episodes where there's been guys getting shot in trucks transporting this product, the meth. I don't know. I'm talking in code words. Like if I say the wrong thing, somebody's gonna be like, "Hey, he's doing that." It's like, no, I'm just immersed in this series so far. So I feel the need to use some of the lingo they're using. Use some of the lingo that they're using, but it's not necessary, I guess. So that's going on in the background, which for some reason I'm not that interested in it. I'm really interested in what's happening to the characters that I've grown with, I guess is the best way to put it, over these last few seasons. I want to see what happens to these characters. Now, I know I'm probably the last person on earth to watch this series, but still, it's a decent series, and this was a pretty good episode. I wasn't talking about the wife. Yeah, the wife, Mrs. White, finally comes back after like flipping a quarter where the 4 states meet. I just watched the episode and I cannot remember the states, but it's like New Mexico, Arizona, Colorado, and Utah, I think. I might be wrong. Are those right? Because New Mexico, underneath Colorado, and Arizona, and Utah. Is Utah over here? I don't know. It's one of those. It's one of those states. Figured out one wrong. But yeah, just right there flipping a coin, trying to make a decision, which I think is movie magic, but it makes for good watching. So they wind up having an argument, and they close on something which I think is pretty funny, because Mr. White is like, he's standing his ground so far. He's like, no, this is it. This is how it's gonna be. This is what I'm gonna do. And he's trying to throw the blame on her, which, hey, reality is it takes two people, not one, two people to make a situation either good or bad. So they both have a part. They both have a part in the good stuff, and they both have a part in the bad stuff. Neither one of them is solely responsible for anything bad or anything good. Mr. White may have brought it on, but the guy was gonna die. At least he thought he was gonna die like really soon. Everybody knows they're gonna die, but he thought he was gonna die really soon. So he decided to sell a lot of drugs in order to make sure his family's like fine forever. But he winds up staying alive. Now you got a TV series. Good episode though.